He just made it work, fell back at the right times, and of course had the support from his team. They were consistently strong as a unit.
Absolutely. I think Emma and Xello, actually, both of them really, one of the key players, deserve to be highlighted, deserve to be, well, you know, they just deserve the props. They just do an amazing job, and it's actually incredible, really, to see a team, well, kick that much of another team's behind, indeed, is the right way to put it. And now we'll see how this knife plays out. Could
first a staring contest.
Yeah, clearly.
And I think CR4ZY's on the winning half because they have sunglasses.
Oh,
so
yes.
let's see if that will indeed be the case. As of course they are now going at each other quite heavily. And it seems like with even a team kill to come in from the CR4ZY side, they will win the knife and start on that CT side. A way better start already than what they had in the previous map. And well, NEXUS on their CT side, usually a strong team. On their T side, I'm not too sure if they're able to at least get the same momentum going as they did in the previous map. And that might give a little of a mental edge towards CR4ZY.
Yeah, I think I understand what you mean there. And I think it's also a very solid point to make, really. You know, when you can start on that preferred site, it just makes things easier, right? It
yes.
Makes it all...
It alleviates a lot of stress.
Yeah,
the only thing that can go wrong for CR4ZY is that NEXUS, of course, looking at their match against Apex, has now really read in towards their CT half. And, well, from my point of view, NEXUS should go for some fan dives. At least put a player in there to contest. Because CR4ZY often do go rather aggressive on that yard pressure. They are susceptible for then a peek coming down from Secret, or at least NEXUS can, by doing it that way, try to also commit on towards the player from ramp. He might have to rotate, he might have to contest in a different way than he wanted to. And, well, that's a very, very scary part. Let's see if CR4ZY is able to USP their opponents in towards Oblivion, or if it will be a round going in favor of NEXUS. There's actually a CZ as well, Sensei, being made a raid boss by his teammate Psycho, that has now also bought a grenade with himself, as I'm not really sure where he would actually want to throw that. Possibly at ramp when the push would come in, or sometimes you do throw it at yard, but a real yard pressure not often to be found on that T side. Pressure now going towards ramp, at least they have control right here. Yet so far, no damage being dealt whatsoever, and they're waiting. There's no reason to go aggressive. They're biding their time, waiting for an issue or at least a mistake to come up on the CR4ZY side of things. And so far, they're trying to find it. Raga will go down to Psycho. That is the unarmored target, actually taking no damage as he's now nading downstairs. But Ime has a refrag of his own. Now picks up the USP, better for long range as Sensei still playing on towards the hut with the CZ. I can understand that weapon going on towards that position because, of course, you will see some players on close range as he now gets a kill on towards the Mintze. But Ime is still playing on towards Hell in locker room as well. Psycho, however, will take him down. Sensei now in towards the hut, going for possibly a lobby take. But he will now actually get a frag on towards BTN as he peeks out once more. Cello in a 1v4, gets one in return. Now goes for that half and peek, but actually could go for a plant, which he doesn't go for as of yet. It's just a little bit of a waiting game. Cello trying to find a player that pushes too aggressively. A 1v3 with 30 seconds left, however, is almost impossible.
Yeah, not really the best odds to kind of fight out there. I don't see that one working out anytime soon, sadly. But he can try.
Quick rotate as well, coming down from most of the players from the side of CR4ZY because, of course, time is running low. Xello still going for frags. We're playing a ring around the Rosie. And as Toxic moves in, he will get his first and only round of, or kill of the round. Hopefully not the only round on their CT side, as it will indeed be that round for the CTs of CR4ZY. And then we're wondering, NEXUS most likely to go for an eco, but, well, a force spike could come in as well, and they're investing quite heavily. Most likely some pistol upgrades, maybe some nades as well to contest a certain area where they expect the players of CR4ZY to be. Maybe investing in towards nades, which you can then throw towards Squeaky and then go through that vent and plant. Because that plant is quite vital. $800 on every player is quite a very good payout. And Sensei gets a first axer. He gets now with the first kill, and that will be a nade kill for Sensei as well. It's already a 3-5 in favor of that CT side, getting kill after kill so far. And only BTN and his friend Ime are standing. Ime can't even get a single kill, and that means it's now a 2-0 in favor of CR4ZY. And the Ukrainians They're not leaving anything to chance.
Did you see that, though? How those two bodies were like lying alongside each other? That was
That is just a bromance
Yeah.
and the cohesion on the side of Nexus. And those green hearts, they always get close to each other.
Solid point. Solid point. I wouldn't have been able to phrase it better myself. Now, CR4ZY, they are getting ahead. They've got 2 rounds in so far, but this is the opportunity for Nexus to come back now. They've got a full buy. They've got utility, maybe not so much, but this is definitely good enough to work with. They are going to have to rely mostly on that fragging power, on getting a very good opening pick here or there, and with that to really just tear open a site and get the plant on there.
Well, the SG will go down to CR4ZY and his AUG. Direct counter, you'd almost dare to say, with that weapon. There is a Galil on towards Siminte. Might want to go for an upgrade as DemQ will be flashed in on towards outside and takes down Raga. So far, CR4ZY on towards Nuke, already 10 times stronger than we've seen them on towards us 2. Playing together as a unit and getting quite a few frags with their team play. This flashbang as well for DemQ coming in was insanely well timed and insanely well executed. They do spot more players, going to be, I believe, Sensei taking a little bit of damage. But he has a scout, so he's quite easy to be able to dodge. As DemQ still playing from main. Currently uncontested, but he's doubting to go for an aggressive peek as Siminte takes down Toxic. That's better with the SG than with the Galil he had before.
And so we see CR4ZY with the, well, 1-man advantage. Make it 3 now, though. 3v3, equal odds. CR4ZY does take out Siminte in the meantime. BTN are on outside. And Xelo going for that maybe sort of hell/now ramp push. And from ramp, he could maybe connect it around with his teammate. He could actually appear on the back of CR4ZY here. That would be a vital frag for him to put in. And CR4ZY also quite low HP. And there we see it happen indeed. Xelo takes him out. And now, oh, BTN goes down to Psycho coming from lobby. P9 frag being all his. Xelo, though, spray down is good, but look at his HP. And the time is already up. He doesn't really stand a chance anymore. Can't get the plant in. And now CR4ZY do get that 3rd round by running down the timer.
Well, it's CR4ZY now just having a little bit of a smile going for themselves. It's their favorite graffiti. I expect them to have many capsules with that one. And it seems like Nexus this time is struggling. Going on towards an eco this round to, well, play around that AK, of course, recovered by Xelo. But then the problem is they need to have a bomb plan, because if they don't, Xelo will, of course, not really have too much money for himself in towards the next round, and a pistol armor to work with. Of course, now getting more and more loss bonus as well.
And that is at least some financial advantage for Nexus, but really, at the end of the day, that loss bonus shouldn't be running up that highly, you know? That's kind of the problem and the, how do you put it? It's a double-edged sword, because it's nice that you're getting extra money, but the fact that you're getting extra money means that you've just been on a serious losing streak. So that is nothing positive whatsoever. Let's see, though. Xelo here with the saved AK. Maybe he can really make the clutch plays. CR4ZY.
Oh.
His hold was, in theory, good, but Siminte, his 1-deek is better. And that allows him to push onto the site now, also recover that AUG. And this could just be the chance that Nexus needs to open up a bomb site and actually get the plant down again.
However, DemQ is already rotated. He's currently still in towards the fence area, but now going towards double doors. Players are rather close, however, so he should be wary of course, those deals dealing damage. And oh, BTN playing timing to perfection. Siminte as well coming in. They're doing the work on their eco, and this is just what they need to keep Xelo in the buying grounds. And, well, for CR4ZY, this might already indicate a save and a 1st round to go in favor of Nexus.
And that is a solid, perhaps, start for them. You know, a chance for them to come back on this, to actually now start up a little bit of a streak of their own, start working towards the equalizer, and from there on out, work on things, you know. They could create a solid opportunity for themselves and really see what they make out of it. You know, they can actually, I believe, also preserve their economy here, should comfortably be able to buy in the next round as well for that one fallen teammate. And with that, CR4ZY might see the hope that they had for the coming few rounds like a light starting to fade out.
Well, we do see 2 rifles still in favor of CR4ZY to be saved. The rest of their economy looking quite dire. Of course, they will force it up. Toxic will be able to have a decent-ish buy, and they will have quite a few SMGs, possibly now, to Shoddy as well, because, well, why not? And especially on Nuke, we've seen it many of times. Nexus will try to then mainly play the long game. However, they don't have that AWP to play against Sensei. Will still be, well, their most feared opponent at this moment in time, and thus the smokes will go towards outside. And it could also mean a peek from the player at the red container. Oh, Sensei, you're going low. And how is he actually surviving?
It's miraculous, almost. NEXUS, they're getting a bit unlucky, I suppose, with that kill not really connecting there, or the spray down not really connecting onto Sensei and getting that final round in to really take him down. NEXUS have, however, still got somewhat of an advantage, utility-wise as well. And that means that things for CR4ZY might not be looking all too well so far.
Sensei has the angle, but DemQ has the peak. And that means we now have a 5-4 in favor of CR4ZY, whereas we should have said, or at least looking at how it went, Sensei should have died. He was out in the open, he was being sprayed down, yet he managed to stay alive by just standing still and being, of course, a little bit lucky.
An immovable object with a little bit of luck. And now you can see that coming in later in the round as well, as Sensei gets the frag there, takes out Ime, and now gives it a 2-man advantage for CR4ZY, who can obviously now continue their little winning streak, probably.
Well, we do see a slow round coming in from NEXUS. They're moving in towards the B side. However, it's going to be a smoke on towards the windows. And there's actually quite a hefty stack coming down from the side of CR4ZY. A Deagle on towards the Raptor, DemQ as well. This will be disastrous if they don't check their angle. Psycho will be spotted out. DemQ now also going down, but Psycho's still alive. He gets one before being traded by Cello. This is a double kill for him, but the bomb will be dropped and time is running out. Toxic should be able to contest that as well in a 3-2-1. He's peeking, and that will be indeed the round for the CTs of CR4ZY. Once more now gaining a lead, going up to 4, where NEXUS now actually have decent economy on some players, whereas others aren't that rich. But I dare to say, you still want to force because you know that the side of CR4ZY doesn't have any money either.
Yeah, it's their best course of action to just try and keep them down, but I think that this should actually be a decent enough buy, you know? This isn't the end of the world. This is actually plenty to work with. Case in point.
Well, AWP, of course, still in Sensei. We said that is the most feared player for the side of NEXUS, and indeed it seemed to be, as he's able to rack up kills and kills again, and now still holding long, or at least a long angle towards outside. Shoulder peaks coming in. Would have expected possibly a flashbang to be exploited to at least get things going for themselves, or at least get him out of position to get closer to yourself on the NEXUS side of things. They do have a Galil on towards NEXUS. It's going to be Raga with the most optimal weapon, but still, it could be doable.
There's a solid chance. This is, well, manageable, doable. You can call it what you like. Point is, though, at the end of the day, it has to be a result that comes out of it, and it could be CR4ZY. Still keeping it up now, and for now it starts to look like it as DemQQ and Toxic string the frags together. Sensei following up with one as well, and suddenly only Siminsei and BTN are left. Siminsei now going to get pressured. BTN maybe from heaven. He could get a frag or two out of this. There we go. Oh!
What?
The no-scope turnaround! That was dirty. I would have thought that was a guaranteed double kill for him. He also did it right, you know? He took the furthest target and first, and then he went for the close one.
It should have been an easy one, but Sensei is apparently on fire today. Already was against Apex, and now with a very good turnaround 180, we will see it once again in just a second of time. And he was already half turning like, do I smell someone moving behind me? And well, maybe expected the flank to come in because they knew where one player was. But where was the other? They didn't know. And that means that now we have a 5-1. CR4ZY will eventually have a decent lead, and NEXUS so far not really doing too well. While he's going towards Secret, and that means, well, with those smokes coming in, it will be a little bit of a stalemate, but there will still be a lot of damage. BTN moving through like a madman. And the rest will just wait for the smoke to be extinguished because, well, the smoke takes about 8 seconds less long than a smoke does. B-side control slowly established by the side of NEXUS. There are, however, some players already rotating. 2 towards Ram. Sergej is standing by with one of his mates. Sensei, I do believe, to the AWP. And he will get the kill towards BTN. They still can't go on towards the side. Sergej gets a frag on towards the Minsei. And also on towards Raga. BTN, or actually Ime, will go down in the end. And then it's a 6-1 scoreline for CR4ZY. And they're seemingly uncontested. And with them, I mainly mean Sensei and DemQ. The players pressuring towards outside. they just can't deal with it. It's something we also saw come out from the side of Apex. They just don't know how to deal with outside pressure. And then you sometimes say, just go for a ramp push, go quite hard. Yet they don't. And hopefully at one time they will, but now they do have that AWP on towards CeLo, and that might be a game changer if he does get an opening kill.
That's kind of the question, you know, it's crazy here. Oh, CeLo, was that? Oh, that was a flashed frag that he got there. It was nicely done. But crazy, they could keep the pressure on now. Sensei and Demq indeed the right players to highlight. Demq usually being the player in question to really get those initial frags. He has the tendency to go quite aggressive, and for him it pays out. You know, he can get away with it. He has a certain ability, a certain knack for it, I'd say. And with that, you know, he can open up rounds very well and start off NEXUS with an immediate deficit. But this time around, it's crazy who actually lack a player. And with this slow play coming out, maybe some of the players from Crazy going antsy, that could just become a worse deficit if things
that molly went too deep, so they don't know that Sensei is actually there, and he's still biding his time, waiting for his moment to peak. The molly now actually extinguished, meaning that he has a chance. But BTN has the opening frag on towards Toxic. They have to get a move on, because otherwise a player from Secret might be able to contest himself. Actually takes down Sensei, and Demq will go down to Raga as well. This should be the second round for NEXUS, as a 5v1 seems to be unwinnable for CR4ZY. And most likely he'll try to either save or just try to still contest at AWP that Sensei dropped after he died. He's standing at the AC units, and well, RJ standing next to an AC unit outside might be actually hot rather than cool.
Wow. That's some fantastic knowledge that you're sharing.
Dishing it out left, right, and center. As he's still waiting and force that bomb will soon explode. At least he stays in AK. Armor, defuse kit and a frag grenade, and also a deagle. So if they don't want to buy it in the next round, at least he can help someone have a cheaper round, but I do assume Crazy to buy back into it. However, we also see NEXUS now actually building some reserves, but of course now also having to reinvest on towards utility.
We'll have to see what they make out of it, but probably with some inventive accounting, they will put down a relatively solid buy. Of course, them being Crazy in this case. NEXUS also will have to, or will have a fantastic buy. They'll even keep some money out of it, I believe.
Well, it is indeed a good buy coming out from the side of Crazy as well. AWP and of course the rest of the rivals are well speaking for themselves. As we're waiting for Sensei to go aggressive. He's going rather deep, and CeLo was born. Standing by and gets a frag. However, Psycho will go aggressive. Teammate standing by to get him, and then shoulder peeking on towards Demq time and time again. Demq, hello, you're going to be beat by some insane, but he still gets a double. It's going to be CeLo, however, getting one in return, but CR4ZY is the last player alive. And BTN decided not to go for the flank in heaven because he figured it might be a little bit too predictable. And looking at CR4ZY and his current pre-aim, that was a very good call to do. Because the last time around, BTN was also the last player to go for that flank. Now BTN goes for lobby. A place maybe not expected by the last Crazy player. And that means that, well, so far we're slowing things down. Not really sure if the bomb was actually dropped at that area that BTN is now at as well. As CR4ZY has now also dropped. Goes close towards Hut. And he might actually have the timing on towards BTN if he's quite careful. It's going to be a peek, and indeed CR4ZY with the clutch 1v1-1. And indeed BTN still had to pick up the bomb as well, which is rather sloppy from NEXUS because all the players were already pushed quite deeply. And they just figured, well, let's just leave the bomb there. We don't need it. We got frags. They didn't.
Yeah, you know, they've shown that they can really get the frags and the aces and anything that you can imagine. So sometimes they'll just be cocky and rely on that. No, I don't think so. I assume that was just a sort of oversight from the NEXUS side of things. Maybe the T side being a little bit too chaotic for them. Really just, how do I put it? Now also having a sort of momentum shift in the sense of them being put down. They've been trying, and you know, it went so well in the last map, and now it's kind of going the opposite way around. That may be also having a certain well, a certain demoralizing factor, and every time it starts out very well for Crazy too. I mean, look at Sensei, how he can consistently get those frags at the start, along with, of course, DemQQ as well.
Well, DemQQ slightly wall-banked at this moment in time, but still they have that player lead. Of course, Sensei with his AWP being able to take down his direct opponent in the form of CeLo. AWP will be recovered slowly by Braga. And that means with that beautiful skin, he's looking for a redemption on the side of Nexus. Looking for the angle, so far not to be found, but there is a teeny tiny angle exploited by Sensei as Braga tries to contest it himself, but with a single zoom you might not see as much. That means we're now in a 5-2-3 situation with CR4ZY actually having a good chance of getting most of the rounds of the first half. But then again, it's a CT-sided map.
It could go any way. I think CR4ZY, maybe they've gotten some really assertive CT halves in the past, but at the end that didn't mean that they actually managed to string it together, you know? So could be pushed to overtime, for example. That's what we saw in the match against Apex, where in the first map they did end up the CT side with a 8-2 advantage, but they still in the end had to push it to overtime. Or well, they got pushed to overtime is perhaps the right way to say it.
Ime just went down to the AWP of Sensei. Triple kill for him so far, looking for possibly the ace. But the time has run out, so Nexus will try to save the remainder of their weapons. AWP and AK as DemQ, he's running by. Ooh, this shot will just rattle past, and they are able to retain those weapons, but it could have actually been quite expensive for the side of CR4ZY. I think that DemQ was running there, hoping to get that secondary off for himself, and of course then also the team to hold down ramp, maybe that little bit more efficiently. But now we do see that 8-2 scoreline. Nexus struggling on a map they have played quite well before. So that's rather interesting to see, because I would have expected them to play a little bit better here.
Really now?
Yeah.
I think that maybe your slight Nexus bias showing as well, though.
No, I don't have a Nexus bias. What are you talking about? They're just really good, and I love them.
He says, with practicing Romanian and really just putting a whopping 25 on Nexus on Vi.gg.
Well, I think it's a safe investment.
A safe and sound investment. I suppose that will...
by the way, I looked up a new Romanian
oh, really?
sentence.
Oh, boy, here we go.
It's going to be a very difficult question for the people to answer, but of course they know, because they love me. Cine este cel mai bun comentator.
Is something about people? Who's your favorite commentator?
Who is the best commentator?
Oh dear, that's not. Oh, that's
well,
no fair.
so far they've been loving both of us.
Yes, true.
So I would imagine them to still say, "Oh, you're both the best. I can't choose." We're like their children.
Yeah, true.
When you have a child,
you
have another child. You can't say, "Oh, you're my favorite child," because then the other child feels left out.
To be fair, apparently, I remember, like, I read about that at some point. Apparently, you know, even if parents say they don't have a favorite child, they still do. Kind
of course, one will be more of a nuisance than the other. Well, there's a big chance, and you'll always have more common grounds with one rather than the other. So then that sort of plays into it. But well, so far, Nexus is my favorite child. They have green hearts and stuff. They have a very cool N logo.
Yeah, solid arguments that you're putting in.
Look at CR4ZY, it's just a dot with a sort of 4 in it.
It's
it looks quite nice, I have to say, but I'm
more
having to root for Nexus.
It's more artsy, I'd say, their logo. You know, it's a bit more alternative.
Oh yes, indeed.
And also, you're making me feel obligated to start learning some Ukrainian. You know, with
yes. Why don't you Google Translate some Ukrainian for me?
I do wonder how many Ukrainian fans are actually in chat. You know. If it's...
I'm not sure if they are daring to say anything with the Romanian powerhouse already having all their fans in there spamming those Nexus green hearts, which, well, makes most sense of all. As we do see, of course, a bite come in from Nexus. 8-2. They're in a disadvantage, having saved just a few weapons. But there's the Tec-9 in the hands of Seminze. If there's one thing we know for sure, that's, of course, that pistols work really, really well against the side of CR4ZY. So far, it's Nexus just sneaking in towards the secret area, but Sensei is standing by. His ninja with the AWP is, of course, ready to do whatever is necessary to win this round, and his AWP will once more get the opening kill. His BTN going down, Sensei now throwing incendiary as well, but will take a nade to the face, meaning he has to fall back as well, with now the doors to be blown out at double door. So people not really able to play around that, but at least it's going to be Sensei still at this dark corner. Flashbang not really going to the way he wanted to, but he's still alive, and that molly just might go a little bit too far, as we're going to see Ime moving up. It's going to be DemQ and Sensei both getting some kills. It's going to be eventually a clean round even for CR4ZY, and we're going to see Nexus struggle. Yet, of course, they fall back. or at least they come back as well. It's just, this is it to bring it in towards a third map, because you wanted to see a third map.
Absolutely. I predicted a third map. I expected there to be one. Also, I think that's pretty decisive. You know, although some people are being nice and saying both of you. You know, and I saw like
you're cute.
I saw like 2 JRs in there. You know, so that I'll claim those. No idea why it's actually turned into JR and not RJ, but
That's a Romanian way of spelling your name, as we do see Psycho going rather low from mouse in hand as they're trying to look around. Zello tagged up as well by a nade, but he's still standing by. And so far, it's just a little bit of a waiting game before real action will begin. Have you learned any Ukrainian yet?
Well, I had it open here, so if you bear with me, you know, what would be the? I mean, actually. No, that would be too mean. I can't do that.
You have to just say a normal sentence. As Sergis takes down a normal kill towards the side of Zello.
Okay.
It will be nades coming in. Psycho going rather low in the process. Has been wallbanged, most likely. It's going to be Sergis with a follow-up on towards the Minte. And now we have it 5-on-3 working for CR4ZY, looking for those double digits. And there are some Ukrainian people in there. So they might be happy if you do give them a little bit of a shout out.
Oh, this is just. I mean, first off, this is a Cyrillic alphabet, so that for starters, that's a bit of a challenge.
Easy for you.
Hold on. So what I'm going for here, right? You know.
Yes.
Crazy are the best is the sentence that I'm going to try to get, you know, out there.
Well, it seems to be right, because NEXUS just going for a double kill and Sensei stealing the last.
Yeah, they're playing solid. They've gotten their double digits now. So honestly, it's starting to look like a bit of a reverse, you know? Like, it might have been NEXUS that got the 13-2 on Dust 2, but now it might be CR4ZY that actually get the, the 13-2 on Nuke here. And that would be... Ooh, I would find that a mighty fine result, if I do say so myself. Anyhow,
bring me your Ukrainian.
So CR4ZY are the best, and I hope Google Translate is right here.
Yeah, easily.
Pozvilnie najkrashi.
That sounds so legit.
I know, right?
I'm insanely impressed. Pistols coming in from NEXUS, rushing in towards ramp. There's an AWP, it's Sensei. He's going to at least get some support from Sergis, already getting 2 kills before Ime, of course, with the Tech 9 will get yet another kill for himself. AK recovered, but Sensei already standing at DP windows. And he's gonna dish out some real damage fairly soon, you'd imagine. NEXUS also peeking from the single door down there, trying to tap away. Also has a smoke. It's going to be Ime, however, taking down the AWP player, and then NEXUS also going low, trying to play around with the door. Peekaboo is pretty much his favorite game, as Ime will try to flank him out, and he might actually succeed, as NEXUS has now gone back to sanitation. And will he be eventually cleaned up by his opponent? Standing rather close by. It's a waiting game for NEXUS before that happens. Now Seminse and Ime will both get a kill. Psycho coming from ramp will get one. Will only get one. 10-3 and NEXUS finally get a round in for themselves.
Okay, and that's maybe, you know, let's see if CR4ZY can actually push this to a 12th round right now. You know, I'd say NEXUS 3 rounds, that's a solid deficit to work with, and that would mean that we can at least get this to that third map, of course. NEXUS having won that first one. Right now, we just need to see CR4ZY absolutely just clean up, you know, on the CT side, get to that 12th round, and with that, go into that T side with such a big advantage that CR4ZY, or that NEXUS even, don't stand a chance.
Well, a little bit of yard pressure being set by one of the players from this side of NEXUS. The rest might go for, again, a ramp take. Last time around it worked quite well. They lost 2 players, but eventually they had that B-side control, as NEXUS will get a good dink and chunk of damage on towards BTN. Sensei with the opening fraggle towards the MS. BTN still low, of course, and Sensei standing by to contest even more towards ramp, as Sergei is also playing down from that ramp area itself. Will get a kill. Sensei will fall down, as Sergei has left him to die. And Zello wants to go for more, as he's expecting someone to be in the flank, and there will be. There's a player moving in, as Psycho getting the frag. And he will be traded out by some Insta the Soul member standing right now for the side of NEXUS. Toxic currently at Squeaky will eventually fall back a little bit, expecting neighbors to come in, and well, he will succeed. 11-3. This might be the 12-3 comeback from the side of CR4ZY. As they are, of course, starting on the CT side, maybe we'll see a little bit of a repeat from what we saw in the first map.
It would be very fitting, of course. It was NEXUS. They had that, well, somewhat slightly heavier advantage. They had the 13-2 in the first half. So right now, if CR4ZY can make this a 12-3, then I'd say that's solid enough. That's something to work with, and then, you know, onto that T side, we have a good chance that maybe, just maybe, Crazy can finish it off and push it to that third map. Of course, the lovely Inferno designer.
Well, MQ will be tagged up slightly. I think it was by one of his teammates shooting him in the back. As Mince is standing by, the nade will go way too deep, and Mince is going down. Does he have the bump? No, but he has Psycho behind him, and he saw a little bit of a push, and will get a little bit of an opening kill. It's going to be Crazy once more at the start, working quite well, as Imane also going down to an assisted flash from Cello. Counter flash coming in right now from the CT Hopper as DMQ saying, hey, that's a beautiful barrel. And a more beautiful shot through head as it's going to be Raga with the Galil actually on range working out. But still, it's a 4-on-2, and look at the HP on the remaining Nexus players. There's a very good chance that, well, we will have indeed that reverse repeat of what we just saw on towards Dust 2 with now Crazy getting that 12-3 lead rather than Nexus. Push still going towards B. It's going to be Psycho getting the first frag on towards Raga, playing with the door. Peekaboo! As it's going to be BTN trying to plant, and he will try to fake it. And again, peekaboo with the door now. Another player right there, and peekaboo! They're opening it up once more. And eventually, well, the Joe gets sold, but Toxic will get a kill. Dois Pretzete, rounds for Crazy. I'm curious to know how that actually sounds in Ukrainian.
I don't know. I can that should be easy enough, right? Then they shouldn't be able to get that wrong, right?
You're saying, oh, it's just numbers. We can do that. But
okay, I just did a very dumb thing. I just put in 12 as in the number in Google Translate, and of course it gives back 12, you know, as in the number. I would have really hoped that I really would have hoped that it would have been smart enough to, you know, actually tell.
Okay. Or if you would have been smart enough.
Why is it 12 rounds for Crazy? There we go. That sounds convincing enough. I can speak Ukrainian.
When you have Google Translate.
You can speak any language.
Will correct you.
Yep.
It's going to be easy. Well, 12-3. Nexus now going towards that CT side. Really desperately need to win that pistol, because if they don't, I'm scared that Crazy will actually run away with this quite easily. Crazy won the first, then we have to trade it out for an equal number of pistol rounds for either party, right? As Nexus is going for that normal default setup. It seems like Crazy is going for a little bit of an A wraparound with two players actually possibly going towards Secret. And they're actually diving in with now Sensei being tagged up with his Glock in hand. But BTN with the opening kill on towards Surges. Locker, there will be a contest, and BTN with a double. But the last two players are actually on towards B, going for a plant. As it's going to be Toxic taking that money for the rest of the team. It's going to be Ceminte. With his USB falling, as well as Cello. They're moving as a unit, yet not really going for reflex because they're splitting on the peaks with BTN. Now a triple kill already, making a 4K. Pistol legend himself.
A solid pistol round here played out by Nexus, and a deserved defuse there, has to be said. Now we'll see if this is one of the many rounds that Nexus might win on Nuke now if they want to pull off the comeback of a century. You know, it's possible. The chance is always there, but I'll be honest, well, first off, for starters, I'm really hoping that Crazy will actually come to show up. And otherwise, well, I'm afraid Nexus could, if they get that massive comeback. Of course, that is the condition there, you know. And I'm afraid they could make it a 2-0, but
I don't make it into a trailer. In a world where Nexus is way behind, they've just won a pistol, they're buying up, and they're going to face Crazy. An eco to rule the world, or possibly lose them the map. What will happen? Find out on Allied Esports.
Have you ever considered doing like voiceover work, you know?
Oh, yes, but I have never done it. Meanwhile, we see Ima and, of course, Raga racking up kills. With only DemQ alive, going for the plant on B. That's at least something going in favor of Crazy. But Nexus will most likely, unless if the Zeus will reign supreme and will be reload. Oh, baby! The Zeus has come through. As DemQ had that frag on towards Raga, rip in peace. But at least, well, they won the round. 12-5.
Yeah, the result is there for Nexus. That's what matters, but at least I can hope that Crazy will kind of come back now on their buy round. Should have plenty of funds, can get those AKs in there, and with that now, just perhaps come back on this T side. So far, it hasn't been going all that swimmingly. They've really preferred the CT side quite clearly, but this should be their chance to really pull it together and go for that finisher, you know, go for that map nuke here going into their favor and pushing it to the decider, Inferno.
Well, Sensei moving in with his AWP, of course, as now the door has already gone away. And he's also taking the opening frag on towards him, and it might actually indicate a quick push towards the A side as Demke also follows up on towards Raga. No players left standing. Actually anchoring on towards the side. There's going to be that 5v3, but look at this. Good kills coming down, a little bit of team damage. But then there will be a turnaround from Demke and Toxic as well. A little bit of a sloppy retake there from Nexus as they were a little bit over-eager. Cello getting one, but can't get the 1v3 retake. It seemed almost doable if you would have had that second shot.
That would have been very strong, though. If you'd pulled that off, I would have understandably gone a little bit mad. Crazy, they'll now get their first round on the second half. And this might be one of the many and one of the last few that they need. Nexus now on that 5th round, and Crazy having the potential to get it done in here, to really get that second map.
Well, meanwhile, we wait for what's going to happen in this force buy from Nexus. Is there an auto shotty? No. Is there then a win condition? No, but at least Cello has the opening kill. Will he refract by DemQQ? It's flying left, right, and center as we're waiting for, of course, Nexus to step up once more. At least you're biding your time before Crazy will finally win a map. It's going to be a nade to come in towards Radio, dealing no damage as the players just moved off. It's going to be Psycho standing by for indeed that ramp take. A little bit of a cheeky boost. If, of course, Sensei now already out. DemQ has picked up that AWP once more, and it seems like Crazy is actually playing this very smartly. It's going to be just an MP9 to hold things off right here. There will be some support from CT. I do believe that is going to be the AWP player standing by as well. There's going to be BTN and Rather with the M4. And who else than BTN to get things in return? Raga. Well, he has an AWP, but of course you can also use your Deagle, leaving only Toxic alive in the 1v4, and this will be a force buy, most likely in favor of Nexus.
And we'll see now. It's only Toxic left indeed. He won't be able to do much more.
Oh, Ime.
Oh,
he wants to go for the knife, but this time it's not really granted to him. And we have to admit, Nexus is a team we've seen get, I believe, 3 knife kills already. Yeah. They're very good on their flanks.
They're, you know, they're definitely the team to say, like, to cause things like that. You know, the aces, the knives, they can really go for those kind of kills. And it's always very amusing to see, you know, it's always very exciting to see happen. So in a way, you'd almost say that you're hoping for it.
By the way, perfect ramp hold right there, playing with 2 players. Just making sure that at least one will be covering the other, and they'll try to draw fire and split them up so they can't really force towards one target. And so much confusion can, of course, ground you around quite quickly, as we do see, of course, now a very quick round coming in from Crazy, getting the plant in as well. Sensei with the Mac 10 will take down Siminse, and if he wants to go through, he will get a kill as well with his teammate Psycho. On towards his force by the sole member alive in a 1v4. Wants to go at least for a weapon pickup as Raga. He's quite antsy. He's not sure where the last player is. And of course they wouldn't be, because they weren't sure the bomb plant was coming through either. And Psycho coming from above will so far not deal anything. Apart, of course, from saving that AK dropped by one of his fallen teammates. May he rest in peace. But it's at 7th round, currently in favor of Nexus coming in. On the side of Crazy, however, they didn't have the greatest loss bonus themselves. That means they're going towards a pistol armor with now the AK going to DemQ. So far, really strong fragger for that side of Crazy. And well, with some utility, they could still make a decent dent in towards Nexus, trying to go for their 8th round. And we're going to see if, well, Crazy will be able to win their own map pick, or if they will choke in the end. Sprays to come in. Maybe the AK will go for a little bit of wallbang, but the flash is great. DemQ with the first frag. There's a player now at the defense. It's Raga. Still alive. The player in fence is moving too aggressively. BTN now coming in, also being refragged, but Cello comes in as well. So 1v2. He misses his second shot. Now goes for a third. That's a great flick on towards Sergius, but look at his HP. He's trying to fall back and go for a flank, as there will be a molly on towards 7. That means he has to at least delay a little bit. And Cycle will go for that A plant. You could, in the old days, not sure if you can steal now, wallbang through that doorway that Psycho is having to his back currently. But, well, Cello not going for the attempt. And the read from Psycho might be alright, but Psycho's also doubting. Might have heard a scope to come in, but Cello so far not scoping. 17 HP, he just needs a single shot. He's now peeking in. He will actually have a decent timing. Psycho just moved away the wrong timing. But Cello going for the no-scope, netting him a, well, missed shot. And now a 14th round for CR4ZY, having the financial momentum once more swinging their way.
Yeah, there's a solid chance now, I believe, CR4ZY. They only need the 2 more rounds, and they are getting so terribly close. Honestly, if I think CR4ZY now can finish this off in those 2 rounds, a very solid chance of that happening too, to be fair. I see it happening that NEXUS will just not even manage to reach the double digits this time round on Nuke. And they will just continue struggling under the 10. Cello now pushing through. Oh, that's aggressive positioning though. Let's see if that works out. That's quite a bold move in my book. And Cello also has to deal with a little bit of that damage, but he does get it in the end. DemQQ goes down by Cello's hands. Now that flashes in there. You can see the CR4ZY players kind of falling back and being a little bit spread out at times until they're maybe going to converge, I'd say, either around outside or maybe on that lobby position. But this is the smoke wall setup coming through. Let's go and see CR4ZY go into secret.
Well, they won't go to secret as Toxic now has the opening kill towards Rock, and they might actually go for a little bit of a different cheeky play. At least now the incendiary of the player in main will now go at least out for the time being. No new incendiaries to be thrown in. BTN still standing by, however, together with Cello, as they might be expecting a little bit of a push still to come down from CR4ZY. However, they're now actually all going down towards that secret area. Cello standing by, AWP in hand. Flashbang not to contest him, and he's being pre-fired, and he will miss his shot as well. It's going to re-peek against 4 players, and you can't really win this, as now Simon and Tay will get 1 in return, but of course will also be exchanged. Him moving in will go down to Sensei, only BTN alive, and that was a little bit of a desperation attempt from the side of NEXUS. Should have played it maybe a little bit more passively. If that re-peek wouldn't have come in straight away from the side of Cello, I think he could have peeked and then tried to bait fire for Seminza as well to then have a good spray down. That little bit of a timing difference really made it easy for CR4ZY to convert those kills and now get their 15th round. As we do see NEXUS on a big deficit, 8 rounds behind.
Yep.
And now a quite desperate force buy for themselves as well.
Quite a bit behind, indeed, is the best way to put it. And this force buy, indeed. Deagles, an MP9. Let's hope, see if a player like Ime can clutch it out here, but I don't see it happening. Toxic gets the first frag, BTN taken out. And with that now, Toxic just continues, really. Gets another frag on Raga as well. Psycho here, holding off in low position. Ime goes for the engagement, but he does not succeed either. Right now, it's all looking quite dire, and in the least not really looking to be favoring NEXUS. With only 2 players left on the NEXUS side, it's getting very close for CR4ZY to win their first map, for them to get quite close and to actually push it to Inferno, of course, the decider.
Well, there goes the last 2 frags, 16-7. CR4ZY will win their map, actually quite convincingly. Going towards Inferno, it might go either way.
Inferno is,
it's a little bit of a 50-50.
That's
looking at the win rates, so far it's going to be NEXUS with a 67% win rate over on towards the 46 on the side, of course, from CR4ZY. But they've played it a grand total of 26 times in the past 3 months.